Tanvi sir, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
This is 9:30 to 11, no?
Yeah, 9:30 to 10:30.
10:30, 10:30. Okay, 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 okay. Okay, okay, fine. Let others come, then we will again.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We will wait for some time. धावडे सर. चालू करून देऊ.
हॅलो सर.
स्टार्ट करू म्हटलं.
येस सर.
PPT शेअर करा. So, dear participants, very good morning to all, and welcome to this 1 week short-term training program sponsored by AICTE on computational intelligence in earthquake resistant design. So today is the day 4, and for this wonderful evening, wonderful morning, today we have with us the expert speaker, Dr. O.R. Jaiswal sir. And now very interesting topic is there. Now today he is going to discuss with us. So I call upon my co-coordinator, Professor Sarang Dhaode sir, to introduce the today's speaker, and then we will start over the today's session.
Yes, sir. Welcome to AICTE sponsored 1 week short-term training program on computational intelligence in earthquake resistant design. Today's speaker, Dr. O.R. Jaiswal sir, is the professor at Department of Applied Mechanics, VNIT Nagpur. Expert in earthquake analysis of structure, tune mass dampers, stability of shells, wind response of the chimneys, elevated water tanks, railway bridges. Many research projects completed under the guidance of Jaiswal sir, such as tune mass damper for building, MHRD of rupees 6 lakh, seismic response control of elevated water tanks in 2002 to 5 under MHRD of rupees 10 lakhs. Guidelines for the seismic analysis of liquid storage tank in 2006 at IIT Kanpur of rupees 1 lakh. Wind response control of tall RC chimney in 2006 to 9 by UGC of rupees 10 lakh. Development of explanatory examples for IS 1893, IS 13902 and IIT Gandhinagar, that is financed by World Bank of rupees 6 lakh. Sir, guided PhD students, completed PhD student of 6 and currently 2 is going on. 60 MTech students guided and 3 MTech projects have received Best MTech Project Award by the National Information Center of Earthquake Engineering, IIT Kanpur. Sir, work as a member of Bureau of Indian Standard Committee on Seismic Design of Structure and Wind Analysis of Structure. Work as a member UG Admission Committee from 2001. Sir, awarded by INAE Fellowship for Monitoring Program in 2008 to 9. Work as Executive Committee member of the Indian Society for Wind Engineering from 9 to 11. With this, I heartily welcome to Dr. Jaiswal sir. And on the behalf of organizing team, I requesting Dr. Jaiswal sir to deliver his valuable presentation. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Professor. Good morning to all.
Morning, sir.
Morning.
Good morning, sir.
So, today, the discussion for next 1 hour or so will be on how to reduce the vibration of a structure during earthquake. Khanve sir, voice wise I am okay?
Yes, sir. Voice is okay and PPT is also visible now.
Okay, thanks. Good.
Yes, sir.
So, we will have to understand how vibration response can be controlled. Now see, during earthquake, structures undergo vibrations. It's dynamic response. It's a dynamic response. Okay. Because of dead load, lie load, structure deflects. There is a deflection, but that is static in nature. That is static in nature. Now, if somebody says that because of lie load, deflection of my beam should be less. Whatever deflection designer is getting, it should be less than that. So that we will call it that we have to reduce the deflection. We have to control it. Okay. Now control word in static response it looks too much, isn't it? So control word is well suited for dynamic response. For dynamic response, vibrations. Okay. Control is a very common phenomenon in communication engineering. Okay, in communication engineering. Whatever this FM radios we listen to, okay,
Yes.
there is a lot of control involved, lot of filtering involved, okay, those type of things. Okay, so we will, while we talk about the control of dynamic response of structures, most of the concepts which have come here, okay, they come from field of communication engineering, they come from the mechanical engineering and things like that. Okay, so the broad outline of today's lecture is what is the basic principle. Okay, and then various types of dampers, particularly in earthquake engineering, which have been deployed, which have been used. Okay, Okay, so viscous friction yielding, okay, and then tune mass damper. This TMD is short form of that. Okay, applications, some simple TMDs. Okay, and then something we will discuss about base isolation. Okay. Now, before we go further, okay, let me show you this video wherein uh, uh, this is the video of experiment done in lab, but building is of full size. Okay, it is almost full size. Okay, the very big shake table. Okay, this facility is available in Japan. E-Defense. If you Google search E-Defense seismic testing facility, E/dash defense, DEFENC. Okay, then you will get a lot of such videos. Okay, so let us see during earthquake how structure vibrates. So this building is kept on shake table, and in lab that shake table will be operated. Okay, so that was one. I think I don't know how to revert it. Okay, I want to play it. Yeah, it has played again. So we see lot of vibrations of the non-structural elements, no, these railings and this and that. But along with that, beam columns, they are also undergoing vibration. Okay. There is one more video. Okay, to understand how things vibrate. This. Okay, let me come back to pen option. Yeah, this E-Defense. Okay. Hyogo Earthquake Engineering Research Center. Those students who are interested, they should further look for these things. Okay. Now I'll have to come out of this option. Then this fellow will vibrate. Yeah. There are two houses. They will respond differently because they have different features. One of them gets collapsed, another one survives. Okay, you can just play it once again. Okay, so that is how things vibrate, okay, during earthquake, and we have to see how we go about controlling them. Okay, now what are the parameters which affect the vibration? Okay, of course, one parameter will be weight or mass, column size, stiffness. Okay, as by now we know the most important parameter or dynamic characteristic of any structure is natural frequency or natural period, and this natural frequency omega is under root k by m. So how structure will vibrate will depend on what is its natural frequency. Okay, that is one of the most important this thing. Of course, then there are more shapes, okay? There are modal mass participation in various modes and things like that. Another important and very important is damping. How much is the damping? Okay. So if you want to control, one can always say that increase the column size or do something with the weight, change the natural frequency of the structure, your vibration will be different. Okay. So that is one way. Another way is that you enhance the damping. You enhance the damping. Okay. You enhance the damping. Okay. So somehow engineer have to play with these parameters. Okay. So for controlling, okay, damping is the one which is dealt with in detail. Okay. Now, just to demonstrate the effect of damping on the vibration response, okay, what I have plotted here or what we are showing you is free vibration response of a single degree of freedom system. Okay, this x double dot plus 2 eta omega x dot plus omega square x equals to 0, that is the equation of motion, okay, for the single degree of freedom system, and eta is damping term. This eta is damping term. So if eta is 5%, if eta is 5%, then vibration are in red color. This red color. This is how it will die down or vibrate. Okay. On x-axis we have time. On y-axis we have displacement. Okay. Now, if damping is made 15%, 0.15, 0.05 means 5%, 0.15 means 15%, then vibration will start in a similar fashion, but now amplitude reduces drastically. Okay. So that is what is the effect of damping. If damping is more, vibrations will be less. Okay. Those of you who know frequency response function, okay, particularly students, they should know what is frequency response function. That is the amplitude of vibration under harmonic excitation in steady state. Okay. So there also, if eta is 5%, we have black curve. If eta is 10%, we have this blue color. So damping drastically reduces the response, particularly in resonance region. So damping controls the dynamic response in resonance band, resonance region. Okay, very effectively. So damping we have to enhance. Damping is our bet. That is what we have to play with the damping. Okay. Now how to increase the damping? Okay. So this is another curve showing that what will happen. Suppose if our exciting frequency is here on this line, okay, and if our building's natural frequency is here, then our peak will occur here. If it is here, then here. If it is here, then high frequency peak will occur here. So if you want to control at this frequency, you can change the natural frequency also and do it. Okay, but changing natural frequency will require that you should change the column size, beam size, mass, weight, and other things. Okay, but this is another way where it is possible. You can shift the resonance region, okay, away from the exciting frequencies. Okay, these are the exciting frequencies. Now, how to increase the damping? Okay, we have to increase the damping of buildings, structures, bridges, chimneys. Okay, but mechanical engineers, they very effectively increase the damping of a vehicle. All our four-wheelers, two-wheelers, okay, they have suspension. They have suspension unit. Okay, that suspension unit is nothing but the damping unit. Okay, typically, okay, in a car, okay, like this sinusoidal wave is like road, and this is the wheel, suspension, spring, damper, and then mass of the vehicle. Okay, something like this black color car like thing. Okay, and then this will be the above wheel. So this commercial device is available in this form. There is a spring outside, and inside there is a piston which is moving in a cylinder, and this cylinder is filled with liquid. Okay, that is how they are also called as viscous dampers, because viscous is involved, liquid is involved. Okay, so when wheel passes over the rough road, this piston absorbs the shock, and that is how it is suspension unit or shock absorber. Okay. Now, if you put a different quality of liquid, or if you put more number of suspension units, then damping of the car will increase. Then car will have better ride quality. Okay, and that is one of the difference between a, low cost car and a, very costly car. Ride quality is good. Okay, they have better suspension in it. They have less noise, less this, that, and all sorts of things. But this is one of the criteria. On the same road, if you travel in a car with poor suspension unit, you will feel more vibration. On the same road, if you travel with a better suspension unit car, then your ride quality will be much better and you will feel less vibration. That is the basic principle. That is what we have to use for now buildings also. Okay, that is what we have to use for buildings also. Okay. Okay, though there are other uh, aspects also. Okay, we have passive control aspects, we have active control aspects. Okay, active control means active control means control mechanism should come into picture when building starts vibrating. Okay, otherwise it should not come into picture. Passive means that mechanism lies there, like suspension unit in the car. It is always there 24 by 7, whether car is standing or not, or whether car is standing or whether car is traveling. Okay, though it is coming into picture only when car is traveling. When car is standing, suspension unit doesn't have any role, but it remains there. So that is called passive. Something which remains always there, whether it is useful or not, whether structure is vibrating or not, is known as passive control device. Active control device means it is driven by power supply. Only when structure start vibrating, then liquid will come into picture. Okay, piston will come into picture, some other mechanisms will come into picture, and they will generate equal and opposite force, or they will absorb energy. Once vibration goes, structure stops vibrating, this mechanism will also become inactive. Okay, so that is known as active. Okay, and then there are various versions of combined semi-active hybrid, like that. Okay, there are many types of devices. Okay, this table is useful particularly for students, those who want to have some curiosity in this field and want to go further. We will concentrate on passive control devices. Okay, this yielding device, there is a friction device, there is a viscous damping device, tune mass damper, tune liquid damper. Okay, so some of them we will discuss. Okay, viscous damper. Okay, typically a viscous damper, okay, it comprises of a piston and a chamber. Okay, and this is filled with liquid. This is filled with liquid. So one end is fixed to the this side, another end is fixed on this side, and when there is a relative movement between these two ends, this piston moves in and out against the liquid, and that provides the damping. In and out against the liquid, and that provides the damping. Okay, so these have been deployed in many structures. Now, okay, see, you look at the suspension device of a car, suspension device in a railway coach, and now look at the size of the suspension device in a building. The building is huge, so you will require very big size of suspension units. Nevertheless, as you can see from this figure, they have been actually fitted into buildings. They have been actually fitted into buildings and bridges also. This figure is of bridge. Okay, this is building. Okay, this is also building. Okay, so they have been used. Okay, they have been deployed, and they have effectively be useful. Okay, so so that this one will tell you clearly that it doesn't obstruct the functionality of the building. Okay, so it is very close to the wall, going from this end to the diagonally opposite end of the beam column joint and things like that. Okay, and just to demonstrate how this works, okay, there are two models in this video. One model is without viscous damper, second model is with viscous damper. Okay, and now this is there on the shake table in a laboratory. So they will start the shake table, and then you can see the distinctly different behavior. Okay, so let me play this video. see clearly effect of viscous damper. Okay, vibrations have died down almost. This fellow doesn't vibrate at all. Okay, whereas the device without damper, okay, it vibrates. Okay, now how damping has come? Damping has come because of viscosity of the fluid. That piston moves against the fluid. Okay, then there is mechanism behind that. There is a theory behind that. There is a maths behind that. Okay, one can work out that what should be the viscosity of the liquid, how much should be the piston area, okay, and how many such devices should be applied, okay, and what are the locations where they should be applied. So all that, okay, is a part of work to be done by the designer, by the structural engineer, so that they can effectively and optimize. They have to means optimum. Okay, you should not put too many numbers. Okay, so you should put optimum number of devices. The next is friction device. Okay, so friction device. Let us see. There is a video here, so let us play that also. Some of these videos are from commercial companies, but since they are good as far as clearing the concept is concerned, I have taken. This is how friction works. See, there is a relative movement, then this will rub against this, and then friction. Okay, this will get heated up and will consume the energy. Consume the energy. Okay, so that's a good demonstration of how friction device acts. How friction device acts. There are many examples across the world where friction devices have been deployed. Excuse me. So they dissipate the energy by friction. It gets heated up. Okay. And one of the plate has to slide against another one. Okay. There are various ways of doing it. This is one way of doing it. There is another way, so that there is done friction plate. And you will find a lot of literature wherein these things have been explained. Okay. This figure which you are seeing is from earthquake tips. Okay. And that is available on nice.org. In one of the earlier lecture, I think I have told you about that website. So there also you will find a document by name earthquake tips, EQ tips. Okay, EQ tips. Okay, so these are the friction devices. Okay, in various forms. Okay, and sometimes since the aesthetic of the building should not get disturbed, so they combined it in such a way that building also leads good. Yielding damper. Now, what is yielding damper? Okay. See, the best example of yielding, if we have to understand, is bubble gum, chewing gum. Chewing gum always yields. Okay. The moment you try to stretch it, it yields. Okay. You look at rubber band. Rubber band doesn't yield. It gets elongated, but you remove the force, rubber band will come back to its original position. So that is elastic deformation. Whereas bubble gum, chewing gum is you moment stretch it, leave it, then it doesn't come back to its original position. That is plastic deformation. That is plastic deformation. Okay. So this difference we should understand. In rubber band stretching, whatever potential energy is saved, okay, that is released once it comes back. Work done. Okay. Whereas in bubble gum, it doesn't come back. So whatever force you applied has gone into stretching that fellow. Okay, has gone into stretching that fellow, and it doesn't come back. Okay, it doesn't come back. Okay. So what they do, if I can demonstrate with the help of some more figures, there is a device like this. Okay, there is a top platform like this bottom, and there is a some sort of V shape, two V's. Okay, so this is a notch area, very small area. Okay, and now if this device is connected, this top portion is connected to one part like this, and bottom portion is connected to another part, and there is a relative movement between these two parts, then this fellow, this smaller cross section, it gets yielded, it fails. Okay, now metallic failure is always a ductile failure. Okay, so since this is made up of metal, okay, it yields. Okay, so that when part is vibrating this way, that way, this fellow also gets yielded, and then in the process it consumes energy. So that is yielding damper. Okay, there are various forms of that, this honeycomb type, and then thick thin plate. Okay, there. Okay, now I'll show you a video, because by now we have discussed three types of dampers: viscous damper, friction damper, and yielding damper. This video, okay, it is a bit longer. Okay, but it will be good that you see this. Okay, so that we understand various aspects. There are some persons involved. This is, I think, from some documentary for a television program and things like that. So please have a look at it, and then we will discuss further.
Conventionally constructed buildings in India follow an old logic. The stronger and stiffer the building, the more structural muscle it has. But past examples prove that these common reinforced concrete or RC buildings fall apart during modern science presents a solution where buildings are retrofitted with modern devices known as dampers. A damper is literally like putting a hydraulic shock absorber to break the shaking of a building during an earthquake. The damper will dampen the displacement, which means minimize damage.
Whenever there is a horizontal force, building starts swaying, and the friction damper will start slipping. The minute it starts slipping, it is creating energy. Now, what does an earthquake do? Earthquake pumps in energy into a structure, but structure is absorbing the energy. We want an external device to be installed which will dissipate the energy, much like an automobile brake.
India has just begun toying with the idea of seismic dampers. Important structures like hospitals and now upscale residential buildings have adopted the most basic friction damper. These are steel braces that slip against each other, absorbing the massive energy produced during an earthquake. This is an example of a friction damper installed in this stilt building in Gurgaon. Considered the most affordable by structural experts, friction dampers are known to last you a lifetime, with maintenance limited to just painting them regularly. Viscous dampers are the other type. They are piston-type cylinders that contain a silicon-based fluid to soak in the earthquake energy. Friction dampers are estimated to cost about 30 rupees per square foot, while viscous dampers come in higher range, suitable for commercial structures. But mostly international players offer these two damping solutions in India. So how will we undertake a nationwide retrofitting effort if dampers demand big investment? IIT Delhi says it is close to a solution. It is testing out a prototype called the yielding damper, which it is targeting for the masses.
जो हम अभी डैम्पर देख रहे हैं कि कोई कॉमन मैन उसको आराम से बना सके, विद लिटिल स्किल इन द वेल्डिंग बोल्टिंग, आपका मिस्त्री क्या करेगा, सीधा जाके वो डैम्पर को फिट कर सकता है. तो हमारा जो आइडिया है कि हमारा जो टारगेट एप्लीकेशन ये कि ये ज़्यादा कॉस्टली नहीं होना चाहिए, ये बहुत ही कम पैसे में बन जाए, और बनने के बाद ही ये इंस्टॉलेशन जब करते बिल्डिंग में वो भी सिंपल.
Redeveloping India's huge old building stock may not be feasible. Therefore, dampers
Okay, so that was the some documentary on this. Okay, so dampers are useful. They help in reducing the vibrations during earthquake, even during wind, even during wind. Okay, and now we discuss about tune mass damper. Okay, so TMD at VNIT, we have done lot of work on this. Okay, so many of our past MTech students, okay, they have worked on this. So maybe this I will explain in more detail. Okay, we have another 20 minutes or so. So TMD is nothing but a secondary device which is kept on the main structure. Which is kept on the main structure. Okay. Like this is a building shown here, and this single degree of freedom system like mass, stiffness, damper kept there. So during earthquake, this will vibrate more and rest of the building will vibrate less. That is what is okay. Okay. Now, how does it work? If you have to see that, again, there is some sort of animation available for that. If force is applied like this, building will go from left to right. And this pendulum will go from right to left. Okay? The pendulum is our TMD. Then, so this, okay, there is another video to demonstrate this. This fellow is TMD. This, okay, pendulum kind of thing. Okay, PTMD, pendulum TMD. This is without control, no control. Okay, so let us see this video and how vibration gets controlled because of this pendulum. Pendulum vibrates more, building vibrates less. So with that background, let us see this video. Right now pendulum is locked, so it doesn't vibrate. It is vibrating along with the building. Now they have unlocked it. See now, pendulum is vibrating more, building doesn't vibrate. Second building is continuously vibrating. So let me play again. So because of TMD, this building vibrates less, this building vibrates more. It has no control. Okay. Yeah. So now this TMD, okay, just to tell you few things about it. Its mass MT, its damping CT, its stiffness KT, whereas main building's mass is M, C, and K. So how TMD is quantified? It is quantified in terms of mu, mass ratio. How much will be the mass of the TMD as compared to the mass of this building? Okay. And if you go further, it is quantified in terms of frequency ratio. Frequency ratio. What will be the ratio of natural frequency of TMD and natural frequency of the building, and damping of the building and damping of the TMD. So a lot of people have done research in this field, okay, and they have given some optimum parameters for that, okay, that you should have such and such value of frequency ratio, such and such value of damping ratio, then TMD's performance will be best. Okay. Now I'll show you some of the pictures wherein TMD has been used in some of the buildings across the globe. A very famous example is Taipei Tower, Taipei 101. Okay, Taipei 101. That building is about half kilometer tall. Okay. Till few years back, that was the tallest building in the world. But now, of course, this Dubai Burj and I don't know, something else must have taken over. Okay, Dubai Burj is 0.8 kilometer tall almost. Okay, this is 0.5 kilometer tall. Okay, so in this building, which is 101 story, that is how its name is Taipei 101. Somewhere here, okay, this enlargement, a pendulum has been suspended. A pendulum has been suspended. This is the picture of that pendulum. The help of ropes, okay, steel ball, okay, 660 ton heavy. It starts from 88th floor, so it starts from 88th floor and goes up to 83rd floor, goes up to 83rd floor, okay, and it reduces the response. That is what they have checked, okay. So this is that, okay. Now since that this pendulum should not swing too much, they have put dampers also here. You can see this. These are viscous dampers, okay. So that is the this is the schematic representation, okay. This is okay. So that type I 101, very good. There are other buildings, okay. Now see, this is in Qatar, Aspire Tower. Here also something has been suspended, okay, and this is the mass. This is the heavy mass which has been suspended like pendulum, and then it works, okay. This schematic is shown here in this figure with the help of ropes, and then, okay. So this is pendulum type TMD, okay. This is pendulum type TMD. This is in bridge also it has been used, okay. Okay. Now this has been attached here. See, bridge will vibrate vertically because of vehicle movement, vehicle movement, vehicle movement, pedestrian movement, 8-foot bridge. Okay, so they suspend this, okay. Now there all calculations are involved, how much mass to put, how much stiffness to put, and things like that, okay. Now this is another type of TMD wherein there are springs on which heavy mass is kept. These are the something like lead blocks or concrete blocks which are resting on this thing. So there are two types of TMD. One is pendulum type, one is this type of device, okay, wherein there is a mass and there is a spring or stiffness mechanism. So both types have been used and they are very effective, okay. Now some of the studies which we have done at VNIT, I will quickly take you through. We do it for building, okay. Now what is the aim we kept? We said that in a country like ours, in a country like ours, if you put TMD like this, okay, this requires maintenance. Springs will have to be oiled regularly, okay. So inspection will be required regularly, because if this TMD gets rusted or things like that, and after 10 years if there is an earthquake, then if this fellow is out of place or out or not non-functioning, okay, then things will go wrong. Things will go wrong, okay. So that should not happen. So what is our aim? We said that our TMD should be simple, okay. Like we have RCC building, let us put another RCC story here, okay, which will be like some sort of weak story, okay. Its column size, beam size will be different, its slab thickness will be different, it may have wall, it may not have wall, but it won't require any maintenance, it won't require any additional fabrication to construct it. The way our laborers are constructing RC frame for down stories, same way they can do this, okay. And its tuning is done properly, column size, everything is selected properly, so that during earthquake this will vibrate more and rest of the building will vibrate less, okay. Now this top story vibrating more will be more dangerous, okay. So one will have to take proper precaution, so that even if it collapses, even if it fails, it gets damaged, okay, it remains there only, okay, it doesn't fall down, okay, things like that, that can be worked out. But right now what I am demonstrating to you that how it is useful, okay. So we have done this for a building like this, okay. Here see, there is this building is normal, this building is at the top, there is a TMD, okay. Of course there is a parking floor at the bottom, okay. So we have model 1, model 2, model 3. So we will see how, okay. Now let us concentrate on this first graph, okay. First is model 1, that means normal building. This second one is building with parking floor. So suddenly because of parking floor, this pink is parking floor, this is parking floor, and this 3, model 3, okay. Model 3 is this line, okay, dark yellowish, okay. That helps in reducing the response, okay. So the bad effect of parking can be compensated or mitigated to some extent by putting a soft story at the top, okay, and things should be properly managed, okay. So that is one, okay, and then all sorts of results for that, okay. Then you do time history analysis also, you can show there also that yes, it is effective, it is helpful. Okay. Without TMD and with the TMD, there are two graphs. This pink is without TMD and this black color is with TMD. Okay. Okay. Now, elevated water tank. See, it is consists of staging. It consists of base slab, wall, then roof slab, and there are columns inside the container. If container diameter is very large, to support the roof slab, there are columns inside the water. Okay. So what we have proposed, okay, see, our aim is to propose simple mechanism. It may not be very effective, but it has to be simple. No maintenance, no additional technology to fabricate it or construct it. Okay. So what we did, we created a gap between the roof slab and the wall. Vertically, they are detached. Okay. You can put a ball here. Okay, so that it laterally it is detached. It can vertically rest, but it should be free to move. This slab should be free to move horizontally. Okay. So this roof slab and these inner columns together, they become TMD. Okay, like this. You will have to suitably change their sizes and things like that, so that they are tuned. Okay. So you can do like this. Okay. Without TMD is this model. With TMD is this model. Okay. And then you do the analysis. Okay. Elevated water tank analysis is governed by IS 1893 part 2. We have discussed this in the previous lecture. Okay. You can do dynamic analysis also. You can do quasi-static analysis. You can do time history analysis. Okay. So here for a actual water tank, this exercise has been done. This is a 12 column tank of about 3.5 lakh liter capacity. And then all sorts of analysis are done, and this is the result. Without TMD is red color, with TMD is blue color. Okay. And you can see there is a reduction here in the top portion, maximum response. Okay. And then as things vibrate, there is a decrease in the response. Okay. So this is useful, not much, only 15% reduction. Okay. But very simple. You have to do nothing, in fact. You just detach there, put some asbestos sheet between the roof slab and the, here between the roof slab and the wall, put some material so that laterally they are free to displace. Okay. Then chimney. Similarly for chimney. Now typically chimney consists of RC shell outside, whatever we see. Okay. And inside there are flues, like here you will see. Yeah, this is flue, these two are flues, and they are platforms at regular intervals like this. There is a platform here, there is a platform here, there is a platform here. You see this red color, they are platforms. Okay, they are platforms. Okay, through which this flue goes. Okay, and smoke goes through this flue, and this RC shell is just to support them and protect it. But this RC shell is a major structural component whose vibrations. Okay, so these are various platforms here at various level. Okay. Now how does this platform consist of? This red color you are seeing here. Okay. See, it is like this platform. Okay. This is the figure of that platform. Okay. If you can concentrate on this, there are two holes through which fluid will go. There is a truss. On that truss there is a RCC slab or steel grit. Okay. Steel grit that constitute the platform. So what we did, this platform is now resting on shell, RC shell. This platform is resting on RC shell. We said that platform and RC shell, in between them, let us insert a bearing. Bearing which we use in bridges. Insert the bearing there. Okay. So that this platform and this bearing, they make a tuned mass damper. Okay. So that is how this TMD, again very simple. Okay. And this is the structural arrangement of that platform. Okay. Steel members. Okay. So where it will be, these two things, they are for flue, the holes. Okay. Now where they will be resting on shell, RC shell, at these 8 locations. Okay. This location, this location, this will be resting on shell, this will be resting on shell, okay, like this. Now what we are proposing, remove them and replace them by springs. Put this our isometric bearings used in bridges, okay, something like that. But one will have to do all the calculations depending on weight of the chimney and things like that and sort it out. Once you do this, okay, then we perform the analysis of chimney. Wind analysis of chimney in our country is governed by IS 4998. Okay, those of you who are interested in wind response rather than earthquake response, okay, IS 4998 is the wind code for chimney. IS 875 part 3 is the general wind code for buildings and other structures, okay. So they are the ones, okay. So one can see the difference. What is that? This graph is displacement on x-axis and height on y-axis, okay. So this is along wind response. This word you should note down, along wind. So in wind analysis, there are two types of responses, along wind and across wind, okay. So this red color is with TMD and this faint color, okay, is without TMD. So displacement does reduce, okay. Now what analysis was done, how this graph has come, that's a different story. For that we will have to have a course on wind analysis of structures, okay. Along wind, now across wind, okay, across wind. In across wind, for each velocity there is a peak response, and that peak response has been plotted as a function of velocity. So without TMD is this color and with TMD is this dark blue. So it reduces, particularly in the resonance region. Here also there is a resonance region. Okay, now that more or less completes, okay, the talk. But base isolation is very common, okay. Nowadays it is increasing. In our country also, there are now at least 8 to 10 buildings which have base isolation. So let us see something about base isolation, okay. Now here I think there is a video. So let me come out of this pen option. This video will work. Let us see this video and then we will talk about base isolation. Or let me give some brief introduction first, okay, and then we'll go to that video. Base isolation, what is it, okay? In base isolation, somewhere here, near the foundation, okay, you put as if you put the rollers, okay, and building is resting on these rollers. So if ground shakes, building will just roll on. It won't vibrate. It will just roll on. Okay. So this type of bearings are put. Okay. At the base, between the base and this. Okay. Another one. Okay. This is the column of the building, and this is the base somewhere here. They are inserted. Now let us see the video. Now, this is a building without base isolation. So if ground shakes, how building will vibrate, that will be shown. This is closer view of that. This is just a computer simulation animation like that. Okay. To effectively convey to the viewers. And of course, as I said, they are from commercial companies. Now see, they have put it on base isolation. Okay. this kind of isolation device has been put here. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now if ground vibrates, building doesn't vibrate. Yeah, this is what happens. Closure view. So it gets centered also after earthquake. So like this, it continues. Okay, base isolation is very good. Okay, practicing engineers should start getting into this field. This is coming up now, and particularly in those zones, those places where seismic zone is higher. Okay, this will be required. Okay, there are different types of bearings and things like that. Okay, yeah, this is the hospital, military hospital in Bhuj, district hospital rather. Okay, wherein base isolation have been used after the Bhuj earthquake. Okay, yeah. So conclusion. In the concluding remarks, okay, PSU devices are good. Okay, base isolation is very effective. TMD also has been widely used, particularly for wind. Okay, and right now in India use is limited, but then it will increase, and structural engineers should put more and more efforts in this direction. Thank you very much. Okay, I am done with. If there is any
So thank you,
discussion-
sir. Very interesting photographs you have shown, and very in simple way you have explained that how these tune mass dampers or tune dampers can help to reduce the vibrations in the building. So I invite participants to ask the question to the today's expert in the chat box, or you can unmute yourself and then interact with the speaker.
Yes, any curiosity, anything you want to learn more. Okay. At VNIT, we have 2 MTech programs. So our MTech students are rigorously involved in most of the dynamic response, either it is wind or earthquake, particularly earthquake. We have a shake table also, wherein earthquakes can be simulated in one direction.
One question is there in chat box. When we do base isolation, what changes we have to do in the footing design?
This is a very specific question. There will be certain changes. Okay. Now it depends. See where you put. You will be putting base isolation. Means suppose there is a basement story, then somewhere after footing there is a column, and then there is a discontinuity in the column, and you make an arrangement for base isolation there, or you put it between footing and the ground. So ground will have to be treated properly. There should be a hard surface there, and in that you put this bearing. Okay, and see this bearing has to be put in a pit, in and around. One should go inside that pit regularly, do the maintenance and things like that. Okay. Now because of this there will be changes. There will be changes, and footing design will change. One simple thing is that how much area of footing will be supported. When footing is directly resting on the ground, entire footing is supported. So we will have to have same level of plate there, so that it supports the footing, it doesn't bend and things like that. Okay. Double shear, single shear, all those checks, they will change. Lateral thrust acting on the footing, that will change. Okay. So there will be considerable change. Okay. There are documents nowadays available wherein you can have ideas about it. Again, I will suggest please go to NICE website. Dr. Durgesh Rai, he has done work on this. Okay. I think you will get some more specific information. Okay. And of course it will change from case to case, building to building. Okay. And things like that. So there will be certainly changes. Okay, there will be changes not only in footing, there will be changes in column and detailing of column and things like that.
But I think, sir, just it is my opinion that the tune mass damper are now becoming more popular as compared to the base isolation techniques.
Yeah,
Think so?
see, I mean, there are situations wherein base isolation cannot be used. Okay, because for chimney you can't use because chimney is already very tall, and if you
Yeah,
put it on isolator, further instability will occur. Tall
yeah.
buildings you can't use it. Okay, base isolation is very good for short buildings, those rigid structures. Okay, like in Delhi, now there is a proposal, of course, that Rashtrapati Bhavan and things like that should they be put on base isolators. Okay, now of course new parliamentary complex is coming up. Okay,
Yeah.
and Delhi police headquarters, I think they have already done base isolation, things like that. So there, of course, base isolation can be used. There are tall buildings, you can't use base isolation. So you have to go for
Their
something like
overturning
TMT.
is
Yeah, you have to go for tune mass damper. So there are different situations wherein both have their own plus and minus points. There is one question: can we use device in structure to avoid the shock or excessive vibration at the junction of two spans where
Yes. In the
load
bridge, it
comes?
is used also.
Yeah, now this question is excessive vibration because at the pier, this is very common. If you drive any flyover in India, isn't it? That dhal, 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 that type of sound keeps coming, and
Yes.
yeah, the ride quality is very uncomfortable. Okay, I don't know why, isn't it? They should have smooth surface at the top. Now, two spans are meeting there on that pier. Okay, and they are not connected, they remain disconnected structurally, so that if there is a excessive lateral force on one deck, it should not get transferred to other one. Okay, now you can use something like viscous damper there, that yes.
Yes.
Okay, this is a good thought. Okay, you can use viscous damper, so the damping is more, vibration will be less. Okay, but I think a much better solution should come by using a smooth thing at the top, so that this vehicle doesn't sense the change of the deck.
Yes.
The top bitumen layer or whatever they put there.
Actually, that expansion joint was not well designed.
But it is very common nowadays in
Yes,
Nagpur.
very common. In every
You go
bridge,
to
you will
this,
find that problem.
yeah, Sitamardi flyover. Now in
Yeah.
Nagpur, there is
Yes.
new flyover, no, come up from airport to Ajni Square.
Yes.
Other day I was going there, it is all these dhar, 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 dhar sound coming always.
Yes.
So something more should be done there. Do
Yes.
the isolation and TMD design as per earthquake zone? Yes. They will not only earthquake zone, they will change even from building to building, building to building, structure to structure. They will have specific designs. Okay, for a particular structure, particular zone, what level of earthquake you expect. Okay, and things like that. It will depend on that. Yes.
Can we use dampers in existing building for avoiding earthquake?
No, you can't avoid earthquake, but you can reduce the response even in
Yes.
existing building. Okay,
Yes.
so you should have all the details of existing building, drawing, design, structural details. Okay, and then we can see where dampers can be put, because if you put dampers at some places, you may have more stresses. Okay, overall displacement will reduce, but that junction point should be safe. So it can be done. It can be used as a retrofitting technique. It can be used as a retrofitting technique. Yes. Okay.
Thank you, dear participants, for interacting with the speaker. And if there are again other few queries, so you can just drop, or then after a few minutes, then we will stop this for this session. And again, there is one interesting session that we will begin at 11 a.m. Thank you, Jaiswal sir, again, once again. It is very much wonderful cooperation from VNIT for this time. So this was a third consecutive STDP on earthquake resistant design. And all the speakers, they are very much supporting us. And then we are achieving the good success in this conduction of online STDP, sir.
Yeah, okay, good, nice. It was a pleasure for me. See, our
Yes,
main
sir.
aim is that knowledge should get percolated.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Whatever little you know, okay,
Yeah.
let it go to particularly youngsters. Then youngsters come up with more energy, they do more work in
Yes.
this field,
Yes,
and
sir.
then better and better things come. Okay, so
Yeah.
I hope that will happen. Okay, any student wants to contact VNIT for that, they are most welcome.
Yes.
Okay, all the best. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
So that's all from my side at this session. Again, And if anybody has not dropped their mobile number as a attendance for this session, they can just type mobile number in the chat box. And then after a few minutes, we will stop here and again we will rejoin with another link at 11 a.m. And again, there are very wonderful session, very interesting topic was there. So that we will start at 11 a.m. with Dr. Gupta sir again. So you can just visit to the VNIT website for the contact, or that I will also share the contact of all these experts. On the last day, we will have on that information regarding all the experts involved in this STDP, and we will share their email ID to all the participants. So, okay, Sandeep Patil sir, and thanks for being with us again for this session. Now, today we will stop here and again we will meet at 11 a.m. Goodbye. Thank you.